Today we're going to be talking about magnetos and why they are so important. Magnetos are completely independent from the battery or the alternator, so if the battery or the alternator goes out on the aircraft, the magnetos can still make power to the engine. So here we have a magneto on this aircraft engine. This is where it's located. These are the hose that lead to the spark plugs. The magneto is part of the ignition system. Basically what the magneto does is it creates high voltage to the spark plugs to start the engine. Here we'll take a better look at the magneto. First, there are 4 screws, sometimes 2 or 3. Here, there's 3 long screws we already took out, and you're able to take the magneto apart. First, right here is the distributor, and this distributes voltage to the correct spark plug. This is the spark coil. This is where the spark is generated from. As the engine spins, it turns this crank and it turns this gear. And as this gear turns, it also turns a magnet down there. And as the magnet turns, it creates a magnetic field between the magnet and the 2 coils. Underneath this orange barrier, I guess, is 2 coils. One is a shorter coil, one is a longer coil. Both coils can send different amount of voltage to specific spark plugs.
All right, as Christian pointed out, this is the distributor. So this gear is turned by this gear that's from the engine. You take it apart here. In here you see that there's 6 leads here, and as this spins, it touches each one of them to distribute the spark to the specific spark plug. And as this turns, it will hit one of those and distribute it evenly. All right, so here's the P lead, and what this is, normally there'd be a wire here that would attach to the exterior metal of the aircraft, and so when you have the key in the off position, the electricity will no longer go to the distributor and the spark plugs, but will become grounded to the aircraft. And this is to prevent any electricity going to the spark plugs when the aircraft is stationary. So here we have Microsoft Flight Simulator pulled up in a Cessna 152. So I want to talk about what I was talking about earlier with the P leads. So as you might know, there's 2 separate ways to turn off the engine. One is to simply pull back the mixture. When you pull back the mixture of fuel, there's no more fuel going to the engine, and consequently the engine will starve and turn off because no more fuel is there to be combusted. The other way to turn off the engine is to turn the key to the off position. So as we turn the key to off, the engine will turn off because there's no more sparks in the spark plugs. So basically the electricity is going to the P lead and going to the exterior of the aircraft. It's being grounded instead of going to the spark plugs for combustion. Something you notice here is that on this distributor there's 6 plugs for the spark plugs. On this one there's only 4. So this one would go to a 6-cylinder aircraft, or this would only go to a 4-cylinder aircraft.